live. Okay. Okay. So we are officially live. Good. Okay. All right. Boy, oh boy, I'm telling you. Y'all are watching history in the making right now, and y'all don't even know. Y'all don't even know the whole story, but it's all good. We know the whole story, so it's all good. Um, Peace and love, everybody. It is your Brozo, and as you know, like I said before, I'm here to help elevate mankind. To help elevate, show peace and love and prosperity, inform the folks, inform the people, and as you guys know, I love to bring in amazing individuals, and I'm just getting more and more better with amazing individuals coming on to the show. And first off, let me talk about myself real quick. I got to get it out of the way. If you haven't already, go to yourbrozo.com, pick up my two books, Bicultural Living and Losing Living yeah, Bicultural Living and Leaving the World of Illusions. Okay. And my second book that we're gonna have the release on June 7th. It is Embracing the Sun Cycle as a Non-Ether Being, and we are going to have a workshop on June 7th, and the Goddess Diamond will be there as well. So that's it for me. Polka Dot Rabbit Podcast. Let's talk about our esteemed guest. Please, Goddess Diamond, tell us who you are, what you got going on.
Thank you so much. I'm so grateful to be here. Again, my name is Goddess Diamond. I am the owner of Shrine of Divinity. So, Shrine of Divinity is a sacred sanctuary for plant and energy medicine. I'm located here in Atlanta, Georgia, but more specifically in Lithonia, which is about 20 minutes from downtown Atlanta. And so, what I do is I help elevate people from a low state and raise their vibrational frequency and put them on a higher vibrational frequency and a higher state of being. So, again, what I do is I help people to grow and expand. I cleanse and clear them by way of certain energy healing, or I use plant medicine, or I used to do sound therapy, but I kind of moved away from sound therapy a little bit ever since my gifts kind of expanded and I'm able to now project energy to people that will help them to release, cleanse, purge any blockages, traumas, any attachments, any entities, things of the sort. So I'm here, I'm doing this work. I also have a river cleanse ceremony. This will be the 4th year having the river cleanse ceremony here, and it is located in Lithonia, Georgia at Evans Mill Creek. It is for those of us who want to pay homage to our ancestors, our guides, any beings that are here to love us, guide us, and protect us. We all meet at the river. We're dressed in white. We go through the flow of activities that I am leading. And then there's also vendors there. Children are welcome, of course. You just have to watch your babies because we are outside in nature at the river, on the rocks. We get into the water, we swim, we sing, we chant, give offerings. There's all kinds of beautiful energy that's moving there. So I give thanks and I give honor just to be here doing this work, helping humanity, just like our beautiful brother here said, helping humanity to raise the elevation and to shift the frequency and elevate the consciousness.
Ah, that's beautiful. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Yeah, it's interesting because in my circle, like I did this. Talk to you about my circle. It's a lot of healers, and it's very interesting because like I said, I told you I just came back from Brazil, and it was so amazing because the first time when I started looking at what you do, it was an experience that I had in Brazil. You know what I mean? And it was just dope
Yeah.
that is somebody here that is doing something similar. So it
Mhm.
kudos to you for healing the people. But the interesting thing is because like we all get to our trauma. We have our own book. We got the first
Mhm.
chapter, the second chapter, the third chapter.
Mhm.
you know, and all of us being in a position in life now, we're at a later part of our chapter. But
Mhm.
let's can we talk about your journey? Getting here. I mean, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Like, how does that look? Like, what made made the pottery person? Who made the person into goddess? What type of experiences got you on the path of healing and all this?
Absolutely. So, my journey started out from one that was from a very traumatized state. When I was younger, growing up, I was living in a very toxic household. And the only place that I could find comfort and peace was out in nature. So at a very young age, I was connected with nature, the water, the plants, the trees. And I, for some reason, just knew how to just breathe deeply and just allow all the burdens of the day or whatever I was dealing with within the household just kind of wash off of me and just go into nature and remove itself from me. So I realized early on in life I was doing some form of energy work that I really didn't understand what it was, but I knew that I felt good there. So I kept going and staying in nature. And then from there, I would travel. I would just hop in my car and I would drive to different waterfalls all around the southern states. I would visit some in Tennessee, some in North Carolina, some in Kentucky as well. I would just be driving all around, just experiencing different healing waters back then. Like intuitively, my body knew what it needed to help cleanse and purge and release those heavy energies. And then going forward, I realized that I was the chain breaker in the family. I was the curse breaker. I was, as they like to call us, the black sheep of the family, the first person on both of my sides, my father's side and my mother's side, to actually address the generational wounds and traumas that traveled through the bloodline. So here I am having to clear all of this out, as well as deal with a very toxic household that I grew up in. And so as I grew, I started to find different spaces like sound therapy, sound healing, breath work, mantras, things of the sort that really helped cultivate me in my journey and allow me to find a level of peace and serenity as I was still evolving and growing into womanhood. Later, I was met with a deity called Eshu. Eshu found me on my journey a long time ago. I believe I was working at Whole Foods, and I was a suffering little thing working at Whole Foods. And I didn't realize that some of the things I was going through was spiritual as well. As we evolve and we're here and we're doing this work, even unknowingly, as we're coming to help our bloodlines and our lineage, we have a spiritual connection that some of us don't realize that we have until later on down the line. But Eshu found me, and Eshu helped me out. He helped me clear the path. He helped me be able to cleanse stuff off of myself. Then he also connected me to my main and my main Orisha, which is Osun, which works is at my head. So I had been connected to the waters, and then I realized I was connected to Osun later on down the line. And so everything just blossomed so beautifully as I was evolving in spirituality and being able to cultivate gifts, because what happened is that spirit chose me, as many of us are chosen. But spirit, as just talking about my journey, spirit chose me again to be the chain breaker, to be the curse remover. And so being able to connect with my guides and my deities in real time in nature, and then having Eshu actually find me and help me cultivate my gifts and, get steady on my path was really profound for me, because it really brought things around again full circle. So then from there, after that, I traveled the world. I left Georgia. I lived in Thailand, Malaysia. I taught English in Thailand. And I think another thing I know that's what really set it off for me was actually going to these other lands, these places in Southeast Asia, where they were so out loud with venerating their spirits, their deities, their ancestors. I mean, everywhere we turned in Thailand, there was a house for their ancestors. And it was so common. They even had a house for their deities at the car dealership. In the front of the car dealership was a shrine for their deities. And it really showed me how people got to live out loud with their guides and their deities. And they didn't have to hide, and they didn't have to be on the hush about all these, ways that they were connected to their forces of nature and other benevolent beings that came to help guide them and their people. So it really just put things into perspective. And I said, whatever's going on here in America is just not it. So then when my spirits told me it was time for me to come home and get to do work, and, I agreed. So I came home, things blossomed so naturally. What started off as me just coming back to the waters to cleanse and to clear, I brought a sister, another sister told another sister told another sister, and then the river cleanse blew up into something beyond what I would have ever expected in life. But again, my mama is Osun, so I heard the water say to me, I want you to tell a sister about what I've done for you. Like, I cleansed and I cleared you, because I would go to the water just to pray, just to cry, just to get in, I was a water baby, just always loved the water. But I heard her whisper say, now share it with a sister. So again, in that sharing with sisters, it expanded into something beyond what I ever would have dreamed of. Now we're 4 years into hosting the river cleanse, and I'm just amazed because we have vendors, we have sound healers, we have people doing work. It's all plant medicine. It's so beautiful, and it all blossomed so naturally. Then from there, being on my path, continuing to do my work, still studying, still, training with spirits, with my guides, with people who I meet on my path, finding Hape even came to me at my river cleanse. Granted, I had seen Hape, in circles many times before, but it came to my cleanse and spirit wanted me to start serving it. And I said, oh no, not me. You got to find somebody else. But I realized spirit was like, this is a part of your training. So after that, we started doing that training work, and we started growing and expanding. So now the energy moves from me, and I directly send healing energy through other people, very similar to Reiki and things of the sort. But now I am the conduit of the healing energy. I don't need a plant medicine. I don't need anything to help people have very transformational experiences where I'm releasing trauma and I'm removing blockages and I'm helping and assist to elevate you. So this has been over 10 years in the making of cultivation of self and self-mastery to be able to stand in front of you today, speak so eloquently, and share with you guys about who I am and what I do.
That's amazing because and thank you for sharing. And it's amazing to me because like not only do just like my recent experience going to Brazil and dealing with healing over there, but also in the and around the circles because I tell people all the time, you sisters, man, y'all on a whole new level. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember back to York, back in the day, Dr. York used to be the black woman's guide. I was like, okay, well, I'm with that, man. You're the black woman guide. You know what I'm saying? And I'm cool. My mom, yeah, my mom, she's black, and all these people are black. But you know, I remember I read a book, The Sybil by what's her name, Mama Zagby, and she used to talk about, and the book talks about like just how powerful black women were throughout antiquity and time. It didn't really click all the way. It started clicking when I read that book, but until I saw sisters like you do tantra, heal people, or be in Haiti and and get mounted and do certain things, I'm just looking at y'all like, I mean, brothers, we cool too, but y'all sisters, y'all on a whole new level. I mean, no, I'm y'all the mothers, y'all on a whole new level, and it's very interesting because like I was telling you earlier, I saw you. Like I've been on your Instagram page, but I didn't see your TikTok page till today, but a lot of the things that I've seen you do, I've seen in real life myself. You know what I mean? So I can appreciate, you know what I'm saying, the things that I'm talking about, the movements on the table, the gyrations, this stuff you can't make this stuff up. This is real, and and through my healing journey, one of the biggest things that helped me out is exactly what you're doing, and that is energy work. You know what I'm saying? Now, now what I thought that much just simply laying on the table would do that much? No. But until I got on that table,
And you found out. You messed
man,
around and
I
found
effed around and found out real hard. You know what I'm saying? But it was a beautiful thing. It was a beautiful thing.
out.
Yeah, no. So you know, I had a post a little while ago talking about African spirituality and stuff, and how the I know my bloodline is from West Africa. Okay, you know what I mean. A portion, a good high percentage of it. So I've been introduced to voodoo, Haitian voodoo, um, Ifa, um, and that's the main ones that I've been introduced to. So
Mhm.
you were talking about how were you introduced into Ifa or African spirituality?
As you found me.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Now, how was
A
that like? How was that experience like?
priest of Eshu found me. I
Mm-hmm.
was working and he would watch me a little bit. And at first I was like, what you looking at? And then he came up to me one day. He was just like, listen, I can help you. Eshu wants to help you. And I said, well, who is Eshu? And so we would just, at first, here I am just outside partying with him. First of all, we just go out dancing, have a good time, and just be partying, and I didn't know I was with a whole priest,
Yeah,
until
yeah,
like
yeah,
years later, I was like, sir, hello, you, you kind of told me, but you didn't tell me, but
yeah,
we,
yeah, 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 yeah.
so the little offerings and things and the stuff like that, it wasn't no big deal to me because it was just like, okay, I do little stuff. Like I used to leave little crystals at the base of trees and, just
Mm-hmm.
intuitively I knew that the earth was alive and that, it deserved respect. So
Yeah, 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 yeah.
offerings and things and stuff like that, it wasn't any huge thing to me. But then the stuff started working. And then I was like, oh wow, this is real. Like, wait a second.
Mm-hmm.
So now
Mm-hmm.
that I started work on my life, and from there I was just like, okay, well, just continue to move forward with that. So that's how that really happened, was being in the right place at the right time,
Right
meeting the
time.
right people. Because
Yeah, yeah.
was so fun back then. It's still fun today, but it really had like a very cultural vibe back then that was so knit and full of community and a lot back then. And so
Mm-hmm.
it was a good Atlanta for sure.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I was saying the same thing.
Mhm.
It, it's definitely changed. And when I came into the scene, when I first moved down here in the '99, going forward, like it was a very good experience to have in the quote unquote conscious community. It was just the whole vibe and everything. That I from that time
It was
on
a
now.
vibe back then.
Hmm? What you
I said
say?
it was a vibe back then.
Yes, I agree 100%. Yeah, it was different. It was definitely different, and yeah. Um, so let me ask you a question. So we talk about water and cleansing and etc. So what's like the metaphysics or even the physical aspect of getting in the water and cleansing? Because when I was in Brazil, that's but before I started anything or did anything, took the I did the tobacco thing, and then I also took the spiritual bath first. That's the first thing we did. You know,
Mhm.
um,
Yep.
what is the? Could you break down what it is about that water and cleansing, and how that all works?
Well, water holds energy. Water holds emotions. It's just what the water is. The water is here to help wash away and gather. That's why you want to be in moving water. I always tell people when we're cleansing, you need to be in water that's moving, not water that's kind of stale and stagnant and just sitting. You need to be in moving water so it takes and carries away whatever is on you and it moves and washes it down as the water moves. And so that's just who she is. And of course, us as human being made up of what? What do they say? 70%, 80% water. It's just a very valuable life force to us. And we are interconnected in so many ways beyond what we even realize. If we could just open ourselves and tap into our God mode and be able to see the water for who she is and how she moves and cares and loves us. And in that frequency, all we have to do is ask from the heart space, and she will listen and she will help us. So the water itself, it just, for me, is like, it just is. This is who she is. This is what she does. But also there is, of course, and when it comes to the river, that's what I say, she. But when it comes to parts of the ocean, there is a male aspect to the ocean as well. The deepest parts of the ocean is considered to be very masculine energy there too. So it just depends on the layers and the levels in which you greet the water and how you are able to connect. So I'm not big on the metaphysics. It's just more like that's who she is and that's what she do.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
that sounded metaphysical enough. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, because I was rolling with you. I'm just like, yeah, well, that makes sense. No,
Yeah.
it 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 seems like it is very simple as far as water washing you. Now, so like, okay, like I'm just visualizing, like just like sitting in a river and like, let's say you just having a bad day, or you just, you're going through trauma, you thinking about traumatic experiences. So you saying like the water can help with that as well, like get it, help assist you.
I'll tell you an example. I can
Mm-hmm.
give you a quick example of how the water really helped me during one of my tough times in my life. I was
Mm-hmm.
outside, or I get, hanging out, meeting people, and I hugged a specific person who I probably shouldn't have hugged, but whatever was on them attached to me,
Oh
and
no.
it was very depressing. It felt morbid. It felt suffocating, and
Mm.
it was giving me feelings of dread and doom. These are parasitic entities, attachments, and things that people even don't even know what they're carrying. And then here we are hugging and rubbing elbows, and next thing you know, you might
And
get something
worse.
on you.
And worse,
Right,
right?
right, right. And whatever I was ringing a singing bowl over me. I was praying. I was doing everything. And seeing instances like this, people might go to certain priests or priestesses to help get it off of them. But because I knew where my mother lived and I knew that I was connected, I said, well, I'm going to just go to the river. I'm going to say a prayer. I'm going to do a visualization. And I actually grabbed this being. It looked like a smoky entity. It looked like black smoke. A lot of times
Mm-hmm.
they look like smoke or different types of energy forms, but they're dense
Mm-hmm.
and they're dark. And so I grabbed it. I was laying in the water. I said a prayer and I asked for help. And I was laying in the water. I grabbed it and I washed it down into the water. And I got out and I did a praise dance and I told her, thank you. And I didn't feel it anymore. I didn't feel it at all. And I said, my God, you just saved me like $500.
I know, right? No, no. That's no 10 copays, right? You know what I'm saying? You have to worry about no
Right,
copays. Or
exactly. I was like, if people really knew, all you have to do is get a good relationship with these forces of nature, how much they will
yeah,
cover you. You'll be
yeah.
so surprised how beautiful your path will start to open up. And also, from that day forward, I was so empowered. I
Hmm.
said, I ain't going nowhere else. I got the power.
Yeah, you
Well,
got the
she got
power.
the power. And I'm
That's
gonna go
it.
connect with her.
That's it. Yeah, and
Mhm.
that is that. See, that's the thing that I'm starting to learn more and more. And when I just watch these people do these different things, and also, the power in me, but you know, it's something that suppressed us for the longest time with religion, thinking,
Mhm.
oh, we gotta pray to the Lord to get things done, in which is the exact opposite. You know what I'm saying? It's the exact opposite.
Mhm.
We need to embrace our power and our greatness. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because, you know, we are an amazing people. We've done
Mhm.
amazing things. We've been here, longer than daggone cockroaches and dinosaurs on this planet. We've seen it all. You know what I'm saying? We've seen it all. We've
Yeah.
done it all. And our
Mhm.
resume in our DNA is like the illest in the universe, like literally. You know what I'm saying? And
Yes.
once we tap into that, you know what I'm saying? Then we
Mhm.
can start because, in my book, I talk about how I had a conversation with my sensei. Because my sensei,
Mhm.
he's an older honorary Black American, so he's like, why are these people talking about they gods and stuff like that? You know what I'm saying? And I'm kind of like, yeah, and I'm like, well, no, man, yeah, no, and, we gods, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you know what I'm saying? All this, being all, hyped up and yeah, we gods, blah blah blah, you know what I'm saying? But then later on, I thought about it, and I was like, we got a lot of bum ass niggas on this planet. You know what I'm saying? you know what I'm saying? A whole ton of them. You know what I'm saying? So I had to realize, so I had to realize back in the day we had some bum ass niggas too. So, even I didn't agree from which way he was coming from. I had to agree with him after I really thought about it. But the thing is that some of us have that DNA and that connection to greatness, so we can elevate. You know what I'm saying? Because I remember one teacher I was watching. He was saying that the people can inside of our DNA, they can see markers of kingly royalty inside the markers of your DNA. Like they can look at your DNA and be like, okay, well that DNA, yeah, means you're a king. You know what I'm saying? And we have this, but also, of course, we know we have different extraterrestrial genetics in this as well. So we have a multitude of things that make us amazing. We just have to embrace this. And every time I meet somebody like you or the people in that circle of just people that the healers that can just do these different things, like this. Like I think I don't know if it was on Instagram or TikTok, but you said you were working with someone. You took off a Hank, right?
I did. I did.
Okay.
Yes.
First off, that ain't that ain't nothing to play with. You know what I'm saying? That's some serious. You have to have serious knowledge to do something like that. Like something like that. You know. So, oh man, could you possibly talk about that experience, or is that could you talk about that?
Yes. She
Okay.
was a white woman. She traveled. She drove all the way here from Louisiana.
Oh
And
dang.
she came into my office and she looked so drained. She looked
Mm,
so depleted. Like one eye was closed and one was open.
dang.
And I'm like, good Lord, what's going on? And then I I started to talk to her and I started to pull the ink because I'm also a reader. I can read
Mhm.
people. I don't need cards or anything. Spirit will start to share things with me about what's
Mhm.
going on with the person. So
Mhm.
I was getting the downloads about what was happening with her, and she was being plagued by a spirit that one of her former bosses that sent her had was coming to attack her and also drain and siphon energy from her. That's a real thing.
Wow.
Saying like, oh my goodness, like okay, I could see that if there's not a sickness here yet, a sickness is coming with her. And she told
Mhm.
me that the woman was already sick. And I said,
Mhm.
well, that's probably why, because she needs something to keep her going, and
Yeah. Yeah.
you just
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
people who don't want to let people go, who or see
Mhm.
that they have a light about them, an energy source
Mhm.
about them that
Mhm.
they could use for themselves. We hear about destiny swapping and we hear about people stealing, what was meant for you and all kinds of
Yeah. Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
people, we really have to be really up on our work. Like I say,
Yeah.
I'm 2 steps ahead. So I stay ahead and I do my work. But um back to her, she came and she was telling me and talking to me about this woman. And I said, okay, well, come on, get on the table. Let me go ahead and start clearing this off of you.
Mhm.
As I get into her energy and I'm clearing and I'm pulling stuff off, I could feel where the heaviness and the thickness was, and it was an energy around her head as well that
Mm.
was just giving her so much confusion. And
Mhm.
once I cleared that off, she was, shaking on the table and she was screaming, "Get off of me, get off of
Mm.
me." And I said, "I'm gonna clear it. Don't worry about it." I didn't say that to her at the end of my mind. I got you. So I was clearing it. And then she left and she felt so much better. She felt so much lighter. When I checked in on her, like maybe a few days later, she told me that she's not having the dreams anymore. She's not
Mm.
visiting her in her dreams. She feels 1,000 times better. She's getting back to her work and she's so grateful
Mhm.
she found me. And it's unlike anything she ever experienced. Now,
Yeah.
these are what people tell me. I have the receipts. Okay. I tell people,
Yeah.
and as I a 5-star business. So if y'all Google me, y'all see everybody's
Mhm.
reviews,
I
how
seen
they
the reviews. I
check
seen the
me out of
receipts.
this.
You,
But
but,
I didn't. Go ahead.
no, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm gonna let you finish. Go ahead.
I didn't realize removing a Hank was such a serious thing because
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
had things attached to me, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And as I
Mm-hmm.
shared earlier, I had to get them off. So for me, it was just, this is life. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
we got hitchhikers and entities and beings that
Yeah.
don't belong. So we
Mm-hmm.
just get them off.
It's very important. This conversation we're having is very important because,
Mm-hmm.
you know, we all can sit around and dress all nice and, read all the books and all this kind of stuff. And, oh, I'm so spiritual. I'm so special, But when it comes down to the reality of all of this, there's real life stuff that happens and there's real life work that needs to be done. And not only just healing, but I'm also talking about, you know, different things that we have in African spirituality that just elevates us, that part of our own traditions. So it takes more than just reading books. You know what I'm saying? She told you
Definitely.
earlier, yeah, yeah. She told you earlier she went around the world and she saw certain things like the ancestral shrines in different places. A lot of people don't even realize that people have whole houses just for ancestors, unless you tell them. You know what I mean? People don't even understand the mindset or even can imagine stuff like that. So she's been around the world,
Exactly.
but not only that, you put the work in. Telling y'all
Mm-hmm.
spiritual people, y'all got to be like spiritual mixed martial artists. You know what I'm saying?
Damn true. We
Yeah,
warriors.
you gotta learn. Yeah, you got warriors. You know what I'm saying? You gotta learn from, me personally. You know what I'm saying? Like we were talking about before. I get my bag from Ifa. I get my bag from, you know what I'm saying, from from Kemet. I get my bag from, Vadun. You know what I'm saying? I get my bag from everything that my ancestors have a part of, because for it to still be alive today, you know what I'm saying, it meant that it was here for us to utilize. You know what I mean? So you got to put the work in, and I'm gonna keep on giving kudos to you and all these workers out here, y'all ethical, good people. You know what I'm saying? We got some bum ass niggas out too, bum ass spiritual
Right.
niggas that
Well,
be
we
trying to,
use the energy.
yeah, y'all good ones, y'all good ones that really take the time and are earnest. You know what I'm saying? Because if you try to rip people off, you don't get in 5 stars. You know that. You already know that. So kudos on them 5 stars because you earned them. But
Thank you.
yeah, real
Mhm.
talk. But okay, so all right, so now we on June 7th we're having a the what is it called, the Sun Cycle workshop, and you're one of the guest speakers. And could you kind of talk about briefly what your lecture will be about?
So, my lecture is going to be about connection to the ancestors, what to do when the call comes for you, how to
Mm-hmm.
handle that energy when it pours in, and also just how to have community or find community that can help you with being the chain breaker, the curse
Mm-hmm.
remover, the one that they chose to step up. Because it's a lot that we go through. We lose friends,
Yeah.
we lose family, we lose
Mm-hmm.
things that we were born with that were comfortable and, helped to raise us, now we're evolved into this whole spiritual warrior that people don't understand who or what that's
Yeah.
about, until
Yeah.
you come in and you start doing work that they're willing to let you work on them and stuff. But just want to give a bit of encouragement and love to those who are stepping up and following the commands of their bloodlines to, hey, we got to fix and heal this shit. We got to do something
Yeah.
about it. And we need
Yeah.
somebody
Yeah.
to do it. Mm-hmm.
That's so true because when I was in my last journey I had, it was given to me, and like you said, kudos to all the black sheeps, all the black sheep slash generational curse breakers out there, because we all know it's a tough thing. Because when I was doing my experience, they I say they, I always call them they, but they gave me a list of stuff of generation curses. Like, this is why this happened. It's plain as day. Just as us talking this right now. Unfortunately, I started. I've already started working on a lot of the stuff, but just having that confirmation, from the other side of that you're on the right path, that's huge. You know what I mean? Because now you're just not alone. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? and just assuming that. But once they tell you that you're on the right path and even show you what to do, that's an amazing experience. You know what I'm saying? Because
Mhm. Yes.
we are here, us that we're here, we have to make this shift, like you said earlier. We have to make this shift because what this crazy matrix world has created into what we really were as natural entities and beings of the universe. You know what I mean? You know, that's we have to make that shift. And I'm very happy to see what I've learned about the sun cycle, and what I'm seeing is that this is the day and time for us to get, get that sun get into our DNA and us getting reactivated again, and because that's literally what's happening, as we speak. And to
Yeah.
see people like you
Mhm.
that's like living proof of these powers coming back, you know what I mean? And
Yep.
which just, yeah, it's just that time. It's very important. The sun cycle is the age of Aquarius, or however you want to look, sun cycle, age of Aquarius, any way you want to look at it. It's very important day and time for non-ether melanated beings. And that was the main focus of me writing that book. Of a lot of
Mhm.
information I got throughout the year, especially from Baba Yunun, but a lot of information I got about the sun cycle and how it's like you said earlier, it's a reconfiguration. It's a reconfiguration. It's starting back over again. So so
Mhm.
that's
Realignment.
yeah, realignment. Yeah, but also very important that we keep on talking about the fact of African spirituality and get in line with your ancestors. Because a lot of you
Yeah.
people that don't really connect with the ancestors, y'all don't know how much they have close to been with you the whole time, and they've been helping you throughout your life. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Keeping you out of trouble,
Mhm.
keeping you. You know what I'm saying? They're right here. Remember, Baba Kalindi said, "Your ancestors are close to you as the sweat in your skin, and furthest away as the furthest universe, the furthest star in the universe." I
Yep.
always thought that was
Yep.
amazing. Yeah, I thought that was
Mhm.
interesting because I already know now, since I know what that connection to the ancestors with. I can tell you times when they were like, "Nah, you ain't going there," or or we won't have to drive you home from being drunk, or you know what I'm saying, or
Yeah.
whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? They're here with you, and
Mhm.
they are so powerful, and they've been here for the longest time, and they love you. I had experience. I'm gonna share this with you, Diamond. I had experience a time ago, years ago, when I had a vision, right, and it was
Mm.
clear as day, and when the vision, I walked outside. His funny thing was like I looked like it was in Decatur, like in Decatur somewhere. But um, clear as day, I walked outside, and as far as I could see, I just saw African ancestors, and they kept on saying, all of them together, like thousands of them. They were like, "We're here for you. We're here to help you. We're here for you. We're here." And I'll never forget that vision. And ever since I had that vision, I always realized the importance of the ancestors, renovation,
Venerate.
renovation,
Mhm.
veneration, sorry, veneration, ancestral veneration, and the importance of the ancestors to us.
Yes, yes. And I always find it so amazing how other cultures around the world, they get to have their connection. So why don't we? When
Exactly.
I went out there and I traveled and I was in China and I was in Thailand, I was just like, my are y'all for real? Like what? Y'all not being demonized over here? Y'all not looked at as crazy? I said, fuck it, we up. So I
Yeah,
came back
yeah,
home and
yeah.
I was like, that's what it's gonna be. This is what it's gonna
Yeah.
be. So connecting back with the ancestors can be
Hmm.
very intense for some. That first connection and opening that path, it could bring out a lot of pain,
Yeah.
trauma,
Hmm.
sadness, like you're
Hmm.
feeling their energy. It's a lot moving. They have certain
Yeah.
regrets and things that they wanted to do when they were living. It's a lot you have to transmute first, depending
Yeah.
on the bloodline and what had happened. And then
Hmm.
from there, we start to elevate them and then we
Hmm.
start to move and connect with them as they whisper and guide us on which route and ways we need to go.
It's interesting you said that because I think about like my personal experience because us as African people that we've had trauma in our ancestors that maybe recent trauma or even the trauma going back through the bloodline, and I realized that through my healing process that one of the main things that helped clear some of that, because I used to have really bad anxiety, really bad, really bad.
Mm,
Like when I played sports, I like, I'd run a touchdown and throw up. I didn't know what it was, but through
mhm,
time, I started realizing that the reason why that was because it was inside of me. You know what I mean? It was something that
mhm.
inside of me. It didn't necessarily have to stay with me, but
Right.
I didn't know until later on that it can go as well, like anything else. I should have just
Mhm.
jumped in the river a long time ago, huh?
Yeah, you're right. It asked us to release that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But through the work, the same work that I see you doing, same exact work, literally. Um, but the same type of work that the tantra and that energy, that healing with the right person, like what you're doing, it makes so many changes. And that's why I'm sure that these people are so grateful after you work with them, just because they probably didn't believe that they could even live a certain way, until you could put your hands on them.
Mhm. Yes, yeah. It's been some very, very impactful sessions. I mean,
Hmm.
I'm seeing people throw up, spit up just from me
Yeah.
moving the energy, releasing that
Hmm.
whatever in the intestines. I'm seeing people scream out, vibrate, shake. I'm shaking.
Hmm.
It's a lot, but it's something so raw and natural to
Yeah.
us that we have
Yeah.
just been stripped and removed from. So, like I said, you got to deprogram yourself from
Yeah.
whatever indoctrination they placed upon
Yep.
you, and then you have
Yep.
to reprogram yourself to your God mode.
That's
Yep.
it. That's it. Did you ever see that movie that they say that Obama and his wife Michelle Obama put out Leave the World Behind? Have you seen that movie? It was on Netflix.
I haven't seen that movie yet.
Yeah, very interesting
Mm,
movie. But us as
mm.
people in this world, you can even use the Matrix as a as an example. But
Mhm.
this fake reality, we've been lied to about every aspect. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Religion, science,
Mhm.
food. You keep on going. We could talk to we skeletons here. That's how many things we've been lied to about. You know,
Right.
just like you're saying, you have to find out what works for you in the right way. Literally reconfigure yourself and almost like Jesus, like be baptized and start all over. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
literally, you literally in this day and time, you have to find something that aligns with you when it comes to your ancestors. You know what I mean? Something African based, or depending on DNA, of course, but something
Yeah.
that it's proven through time to work for your phenotype, for your type of, what I'm
Right.
saying, for
Mhm.
your specific type of specific a specific type of being. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Some people might go to comedic route. That's cool. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because most of the descendants of the Dogons, well, they're in Mali right now, so that's West African. You know what I'm saying? So Ifa, West African. You know what I'm saying? Voodoo.
Right.
Whatever the case may be, these spiritual sciences. You know what I'm saying? That are here today, that made it today. We have to tap into them. You know what I mean? To really start to have a foundation and a base for us to get in, right? Because nothing else is going to help us that they gave us. Never, ever. Never, 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 ever. You know.
Exactly.
You know what I'm
Exactly. I
saying?
100% agree. Mhm.
Hmm. Yep. We gotta we gotta do things ourselves. So what I'm saying, and just and embrace love with self and kind. You know what I mean? Because I know in both of our experiences back in the day, I know that was we might have been through our journey just in life when our minds closed, then we might not have had the same type of. We definitely didn't have the same type of what's the word, love that we have for self and kind that we had to go through time. You know what I mean? And that is because of the Babylon system, the Matrix, whatever the case may be. But
Right.
now we
Mhm.
can embrace ourselves, our
Mhm.
language, our culture. You know what I'm saying? And that's when we get back to our power.
Exactly. We have to realize that, we weren't able to speak our language. We weren't able to speak.
Hmm.
We weren't able to do our rituals. We weren't able to sing our
Hmm.
songs. They
Hmm.
knew that there was power in that, and they
Hmm.
stripped that from us. And even with the native people, they stripped them of their native tongue, rituals and ways that they connected with the land. There's so many stories that are coming out now about how people have been ripped away from what they naturally knew from their tribes and their people and their
Exactly.
native tongue, and how they connected with the land and the earth.
Hmm.
So I always say, with that being said, we owe ourselves just the opportunity to see what was removed from us.
Yeah, 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 exactly. I think about it. I think about it all the time. It's like if you're 40 years old, more than likely for 30 to 35 year old, you've been told everything wrong for the longest time. So now you have the opportunity to learn new stuff going forward. That's stuff that works for you and make you a better person. You know what I'm saying? In the natural world, you know. All
Exactly.
right. So I want to pull up your website here because I want the people to see because they need to go see you. I don't care if you in Atlanta. I don't care if you're in Atlanta. I don't care if or, where she come from. She said New Orleans or wherever. Y'all need to
Yeah,
holler at this sister because she gets
she
she
came from Louisiana. I said,
Louisiana. Hey, that's deep because they got a lot of cats. I'm sure they're doing some work down there. And she came. She's like, I'm going away from y'all. I'm going up to Atlanta to see this sister right here. She got it going on. So
my
hey,
ancestors tell it. They say, look, don't go to that wicked place. That's what my ancestors say. Because I have
yeah,
ancestors who come from the plantations of
mm,
Louisiana.
mm,
So they like what they share with they
yeah, 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 yeah. That's so true. That's true. That is so true. So this is the website. Let me see if I can get to. What's a good page I need to go to? Like just like the main. I guess this is the main page, right?
You are on my about me.
I'm about
Yeah,
okay.
if you go click the top link, the top little symbol, yep, you can click that. That'll
Right
take you
here.
to,
Okay.
yep, my logo.
Okay.
That'll
Okay.
take
There we go. Yeah. Yeah. I knew that looked different.
you.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna scroll down. Okay. Yeah. So this is a nice website. You did this?
I did. I designed my own website.
Yeah. 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 Me too. Me too. Takes a lot of problems and work out of the when you do things yourself. Let's take a look here. Okay. So can you talk about real quick the river cleanse?
Oh yeah, so the river cleanse, yeah, aside from me just hosting like retreats and sister circles and things of the sort, the river cleanse is a monthly cleansing ceremony for us to be able to come cleanse, wash ourselves, give our offerings to our ancestors, and just have community. People really enjoy the river cleanse. It's free. It's one of the offerings that I give to the community for free because I do believe that each and every one of us deserves to just connect on some level where we don't have to pay money because things have been so far removed from us that we deserve to
Yeah.
just be able to just have community and connect with our ancestors together. So I offer that for free. And then aside from that, there is just you could be for private sessions, things of the sort. But the river cleanse is just something special because it was gifted to me by my deity, and she is the one who expanded it because I didn't do it.
Mm.
All of a sudden, things are viral. All of a sudden, everybody know about it. So I just did the work.
Yeah. This is the see. This is just this picture alone. Let me go back to. I think when you hover over it to go to another picture. Hold on a
It
second,
goes,
because I can't.
you can click it
Yeah.
too, and it'll go to a different
Okay.
picture.
Oh, if you clicked it, okay. Okay. Hold on a second. Oh, we went through the.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
go back. It'll hover. I'm sorry.
No, you good.
I
No, no, no.
normally do
Okay.
a cell phone
All
view.
right. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Sound like a content creator talking, right? But
Yes.
a website builder. Um, yeah. See, this is okay. Just this image alone. You know what I mean? If you go back 2,000 years ago, You know what I'm saying? You're going to see something very similar to this in a lot of rivers all around the mother continent and all over the United States too. You know what I'm saying? In our ancient way. You know what I'm saying? So this is getting back to who we are, what we are, and that's the most important thing I have to say about all of this. We got to get back to our roots. You know what I'm saying? So, and all this stuff that she's doing with the healing and the ancestor worship. This sister right here is a true guide and a blessing for us all, and we all need to, um, support her in her endeavors, and also just learn. And not only learn from her, but learn from each other. You know what I'm saying? So, um,
Mm-hmm.
but
I'm
let me see where I
grateful.
am.
People tend to
Yeah,
love
you
it.
should be.
Every people, we got pregnant women, old ladies, old men.
Yeah,
Look,
everything.
it's
Oh
everybody
man,
outside.
babies. You know what I'm saying?
Baby, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's dope. That's dope. The
It's
whole
a
the whole
good
tribe is there, right? The whole
time.
tribe is there.
and
Yeah, that's
and
what's
there's
up.
activations happening all over.
I can
Once we
imagine.
pour that libation, and I
Mm-hmm.
call them in, and I say that prayer of protection, energy shoots.
Yeah,
People moving,
yeah.
energy moving. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Boy, oh
hmm
boy, this is amazing. I guess. Well, I guess we'll look at this as well. Hold on a second. Let me get this down. We'll talk about all the information for the event is in the description. Diamond's gonna be there live in effect. I'm very excited to see her lecture. You know, let me go back out here and there we go. Let me get up the other information. Let's see. Da, da, da. Oh wait a minute. Oh yeah, there we go. Let me find. Okay, here it is. All right. So let me see if I can see it on this end. There we go. This is it. I'm gonna put the link in the description real quick for y'all. Y'all, you know, put that link in the description, everybody, right now. Go ahead and get your tickets now. It will be live stream as well. So if you're not in the areas, it's all good. Just go ahead and you can still watch it. Amazing speakers going to be there, including Diamond. And in the meantime, all her information is on in the description here. Reach out to her. You know what I'm saying? She does a lot of stuff, and you know you need to utilize. Just like I have a whole section in my book that says harness your tools, and you people got to harness your tools, or people like Diamond, so that you can start to the road to elevation, to get higher. You know what I'm saying? And to get healed, to get higher. It's important day and time. We cleanse, we get healed, we get right, and we connect with our ancestors, and we embrace our powers. It's that time. No matter,
It's
and I'm
that
gonna say this. Yeah, I'm gonna say this. No matter what all this, what do you call this, distraction, all this kind of crazy stuff that you see in the world that they're trying to do, nothing ever can stop where we're going as 90 the beings. Nobody can do, nobody, nothing can stop where we're going. Nothing can stop that DNA activation. Nothing can you stop all that stuff. All of that it's all inevitable and a part of
Mhm.
our reawakening, So
Okay.
I'm gonna get off my what do you call it, soapbox. I'm done with my sermon today. Hallelujah, hallelujah. So well, so besides that, you got anything else for him?
Besides that, I would share if you don't do anything in this season, make sure you are cleansing yourself. Whatever way that looks good to you, spiritual bath, smudging, taking care of your mind, your body. Make sure you're cleansing. We're in the year of the 9. This is the shedding of the snake. We are shedding those old skins,
Mm,
those old layers. And in doing so, you need to be cleansing yourself because after this year, we're going into the year of 1. Next year breaks down into 1 0. You add that together, that's 1. So we're directly going into our new gateway. We're going on to our new
mm,
path. And so now
mm.
that we have some sort of energy this year to help us shed and release some things, we want to be prepared as we go into our new journeys next year on year 1. So I just wanted to share that with everybody because people are going through a lot right now. Things are shifting and shaking,
Yeah.
but
Hmm.
no, it's all for the greatest and it's all for your highest good.
That's it. Yeah. I'll have to say this. There is some work in all this, but as long as you put the effort Yeah, I remember Bobby Noon. He used to say it's a you have to take a long walk on a short path. You know what I mean? A long
Mhm.
walk on a short path, and this that like this the spiritual journey is, it's going to take work, but it's going to be you got to put the effort in. The more effort and time you put into it, the reading, the discipline, the fasting, all those aspects, the meditation, all the stuff that comes along with this, it's going to benefit you. You know what I mean? To the highest degree, like you couldn't even imagine.
It is. Like I
Hmm.
said, I'm 10 years in, and finally I got my gifts. So to move energy. Okay. I had a long
10
journey
years.
here. I'm 10 years
10 years.
in. So I tell people all the time, my entire 20s dragged me. Okay. But now I have arrived.
It's very interesting, like, because I wonder about, like, when we talk about, because, like I said, we have similar experiences growing up, like, the earlier days were, difficult. But, but then it's kind of like, you look back and you're like, damn, I'm kind of happy I went through all that stuff. You know,
Yeah.
yeah, I
Mhm.
appreciate it, and you have a different perspective. You know what I mean? It's like, you're like, oh damn, now I see why I had to go through it. So it might have been tough, but as long as you make it through, you're fine. You know?
Right. As long as you make it
Yeah.
through, don't get your soul caught up in some mess.
That's it. That's it. That's
Okay.
it. All
That's
right.
it.
Well, that's it for us. I appreciate you much. You know what I'm saying? And June 7th, y'all get y'all tickets. Um, Diamond the Goddess, she's gonna be there, and I'm interested in hearing about the lecture and all of that good stuff. So, besides that, we are out of here, and I appreciate everybody. And please share, like, and follow. And it was amazing talk, and appreciate all y'all comments and other stuff out there that have been watching this and following it. So. Appreciate y'all. And besides that, Polka Dot Rabbit podcast, we are out of here. Wait a minute. Before I do that, let me at least put myself on camera. I'm saying I'm out of
Bye,
there. Like, it's just her face on there. So we out of there. Peace.